It is always a tremendous joy to come to this country, and this speaker is coming to this country since 1994. There have been, it takes time to receive this energy of understanding. So many people came and went away. But then there are some people who understood, and they keep on coming and also inviting people to share this energy of understanding. Before I proceed further, if I may, I would like to request you most humbly that all your mobile phones may be totally switched off, because we are going to share something together very seriously. It is sharing together, not, somebody sitting on a high altar giving Sermon on the Mount, and you take the sermon and follow, not follow. In matter spiritual, following is not important. In technical matters, following is okay. You have to follow your senior doctor to become a good doctor. You have to follow your senior engineer to become a good engineer. In all technical matters, following is very important. If you want to be a good chef, cook, you have to follow the good cook. So their following is okay. But in matters of life, those are the things of the mind. And we are here to share something which belongs to life, which belongs to understanding, which belongs to the energy, the vitality, the veracity. We have enough mental undertakings already crowded, and we are in all kinds of agitation and disturbance because of these entanglements. But here is an invitation not to remain with mental entanglement, but to be available to energy of life and its understanding, not mind and its undertakings. In technical world, there is a giving of technical knowledge and taking of technical knowledge. But here, it is sharing the energy of understanding together, not giving and taking, together. And therefore, it is a very serious matter. So here, it is not following somebody, but flowering in one's own dimension of understanding. Here, it is not just a pep talk, a speech. It is not to influence you, impress you, but invite you to be available to a dimension of insight, INSIGHT. And that is why we have made this request, so that you wholeheartedly live these teachings. There is a difference between living the teachings and minding the teachings. Minding the teachings means intellectual appreciation. But living the teachings means it goes in your blood cell, in your bone marrow. It transforms you and sets you available in a dimension of a division-free awareness, not the separative consciousness with which we are familiar. Separative consciousness. I, you. I am Indian, you are Spanish. These are separative consciousness. But our real nature, basic nature, is holistic awareness, division-free awareness. This basic awareness, which is life, it is exactly same in all human beings all over the planet. It is only the separative consciousness that is different, and that differs from place to place. And even the separative consciousness, although it is not same, just as holistic awareness is exactly same, the life is exactly same, but the separative consciousness, the mind, is not same, but it is similar. How? What are the contents of the separative consciousness? What constitutes our separative consciousness? If we look at ourselves, we will see the contents of our separative consciousness. I, you. It is greed, the basic, wanting and getting, craving, acquisition, accumulation. Of course, we don't say greed, we say ambition. A very good name for greed. Good luck. But this is one of the basic things. And then with the greed comes the fear. What we are greeding, there is a fear of losing. I may not get it. The greed, the fear. Then envy, jealousy. I have not got it, somebody has got it. Oh, I must run to grab it somehow. Then anger. How somebody else has got it, I must get it. And then all kinds of self-centered activities based on vested interests and vanities. Now this is everywhere, in all human beings. The only difference is in degree. For example, greed may be something in Spain, something in America, something in India. India, the greed is for a bicycle, poor country. In Western country, the greed is for a car. In America, it is for Rolls-Royce, Mercedes-Benz, etc., etc. But greed is greed. It has got just difference in degree. Similarly, fear. Maybe something in this here, something in France, something in Russia, something in Ukraine, something in Pakistan, something in Arab countries, something here and there. But fear is fear. Similarly, envy, jealousy, they are basically similar, if not same. So, the basic awareness, division-free awareness, holistic awareness is exactly same. Even the separative consciousness is similar. Then where is the individual? There is no individual. There is the whole humanity. The whole planet is ours. See, and that is the dictionary meaning of the word individual. Individual means not divisible. But in the name of individuality, we always say, I, you. So, if this is so, then because we have a unique body, that is to be respected. But the consciousness in this unique body is universal. What a beauty. What a wonder and mystery of the creation. In spite of the uniqueness, there is universality. And to identify a particular unique body, we have to have name, address, email address, identity card, passport, driving license, credit card. All these are necessary for practical reasons, for identification purpose, not for investing as I, you, and always getting into conflict and comparison, always becoming and something, never in the being, never in the dimension of life, always in the divisive consciousness of the mind, becoming, not being. And what is the outcome of this separative consciousness? There is no harmony, neither in the self, nor in the family, nor in the society, nor in the nation, nor international. No harmony. And the dictionary meaning of the word yoga is harmony. And there is another word called biyoga, which means disharmony. Biyoga is the separative psyche, the chitta vritti. And yoga is chaitanya, the life. Biyoga is mind. And mind is always in disharmony. Mind is not available to yoga. It is the freedom from the mind, flowering in life. And we are life, we are not mind. Mind is there for practical reasons, for doing our technical tasks. But we will understand slowly that there is no such thing as a mind. Mind is a myth. It is not real, even though it is valid because it gives functional value in the technical world. It is not real. The reality is life. The reality is love. Reality is harmony. Reality is yoga, not this stranglehold of the yoga, the mind. This Kriya Yoga, you will wonder to know, is the only yoga that is mentioned by name in the Yoga Sutras. And it says that it has got 3 parts. And today we are doing the first part, part 1. 1/3 of Kriya Yoga we are doing today. So that is why those who do not attend this talk, we do not encourage them to come for the second day or third day. It's a 3 days program, each dedicated to one part. Today is 1/3, tomorrow is another second part of second, and the day after tomorrow the final part. 3 parts in 3 days. That is why it is necessary to be available to this talk to go further. Otherwise you miss 1/3, which is a big miss. Yoga starts with physical fitness program. There are simple physical fitness practices which are available in yoga studios, and you learn and you feel a sense of well-being. The physical fitness is the beginning. Then comes the psychological fitness program, which we'll learn tomorrow. In Kriya techniques, there are certain techniques which we learn, which make us psychologically fit. And then the real yoga is freedom, absolute and unconditional freedom from the stranglehold of the mind. We are under this stranglehold of the mind. Releasing this stranglehold and to be available to life, that is the final purpose of yoga, the freedom, absolute and unconditional. So, Kriya Yoga is the deepest dimension of religion. It is not superficial religion, organized religions with which we are familiar. These organized religions are only creating belief systems and battles, a culture of killing and being killed in the name of God, in the name of religion. What a tragedy. All kinds of horrible terrorism, all in the name of religion and God. Oof! All this is happening because of organized religion. Kriya Yoga is repudiation, not rejection or acceptance. Repudiation, third dimension, with understanding. Repudiation of all organized religions and their ideologies and idiosyncrasies and their beliefs and bigotries, and to flower in the dimension of total and absolute freedom from the stranglehold of mind and the separative activities of the I. That is a bliss, a benediction of the real vitality and veracity of religion. That is the real religion. And because of the domination of mind, the life and understanding remains dormant, and mind is ruling everywhere and creating havoc. We are supposed to be the best species on this planet, living species. But what has happened? We are perhaps the filthiest species, the worst kind of species. Why? Because we are the only species who kill our own species in millions and billions in world wars. Hitler killed 6 billion Jews in the name of Catholicism. Stalin killed 10 million people in the name of communism. All killing, killing, killing. What a tragedy, you see. The other species, they kill just to feel their hunger. When they are hungry, they have to kill other animals. And that too they do because they don't know agriculture. They cannot grow crops. They cannot grow fruits, vegetables. So they have to do that. And when they are not hungry, they don't kill. But we not only kill human beings, but also animals. All kinds of animals are being killed for food. What a tragedy, you see. It's not necessary. In the best brains like Einstein, George Bernard Shaw, they said, vegetarian food is the blessing. But we have become so rustic. Oof. Now, what is the remedy? And that remedy, we will now go into it. So please listen wholeheartedly, with full attention. There is a remedy. It is possible to come out of this horrible situation. And that is the beauty of the human brain. You see, nowadays a computer is doing much better than the human brain. What a human brain can do, a computer is doing much more efficiently. Then what is the difference between a human brain and a computer? A computer cannot be free of its contents. There is no way. And it has no even idea to do that. But human brain has the capacity to be free of its content. All these stupid contents, and to usher into a dimension of absolute and unconditional freedom. And in that dimension of freedom from the mind and I will still function, and function most efficiently in the technical world. Because the psychological problems, inhibition, obsession, hang-ups, all these things will not be there. Maximum, very good functioning. Yoga karmashu kaushalam. To be available to yoga is also to be available to perfection and excellence in technical world, day-to-day world. Now, this, what is it that will make this possible? We will go into this together. And it's the most profound teachings that is available to humanity. These teachings of Kriya Yoga, the first part, which is called Swadhyaya. The dictionary meaning of two words in Sanskrit, one is Kriya, another is Pratikriya. Kriya means action emanating from the understanding, from the dimension of life, from the dimension of harmony and love. That is Kriya. And Pratikriya means reactions emanating from the mind and its cunning calculations, its vanity and its vested interests and its all kinds of confusion, conflict. The reactions from the dimension of mind and the separative psyche. So, the purpose is to be free from pratikriya, from the reactions of the mind, to be available to kriya, that means to be available to the actions from the life and love. That is the dictionary meaning of the word kriya. And similarly, as we said, there are two words, yoga and biyoga. Yoga is the harmony and biyoga is disharmony. Biyoga is division. Yoga is devotion. And the interpretation of Swadhyaya has been a total travesty. Interpretation, they say Swadhyaya means reading scriptures and remaining amused in borrowed knowledge, always repeating second-hand harangues, listened from others or collected from books. That is supposed to be Swadhyaya according to the interpretation by the so-called scholars. But that is not the meaning. Adhyaya, the word comes from the word dhyana. Dhyana means meditation, contemplation, pondering, consideration. And this has to happen without the interference from the meditator. Not, I am meditating. Because I comes with its pressure and prejudice, all kinds of paradoxes. When it is meditating, it is giving continuity to all this under the pretext of meditation. It is me dictation that is happening in the name of meditation. But real meditation is me deletion. No me. Only the movement of awareness is most profound that can happen. Only seeing without interference from the past, seeking something for the future. No. And that is the things going on in the spiritual market in the name of meditation. It is not. So adhyaya means, means without. That means meditation without meditator. In Sanskrit it is called dhyata bina dhyan. That is the real dimension of meditation, adhyaya. And this adhyaya has to happen on swa. Swa means I, the I-ness. What is this I? Let us together meditate on this, consider this. What is this I? Swa is I as it exists now. We are going to go into it together. Now, the basic teaching is all knowledge is division. Moment a knowledge is registered in the brain and its memory apparatus, immediately it splits into knowledge and I. A I is projected. And this projection in the technical world is very, very useful, because I then is acting as a coordinator of the technical knowledge. For example, somebody, he's a professor of mathematics, PhD, high profile mathematics teacher. So he goes on taking technical classes to give mathematics knowledge to postgraduate students, those who are having highest degree or research, etc. So his vast knowledge of mathematics has produced an eye, and that eye is so helpful when he is teaching a particular branch of mathematics in a particular class to a group of students, or guiding some research scholar in a particular portion of mathematics knowledge. This eye is very helpful. Now, let us come to the inner world. In the outer world, the content is technical knowledge. In the inner world, the content is greed, fear, envy, and then demand for dependencies on belief system. Because of our psychological problem, we want to depend for solace and assurance. These are the content of consciousness in the inner being. That also is producing an I. Fragmentation. Now this I is dangerous. Why it is dangerous, we will come to know. Now in the inner world, the I becomes a protective mechanism of the mental pollution. For example, my mental pollution is suppose fear, or some psychological problem, obsession, inhibition, some hang-ups. Suppose this is my mental problem. It has also created I. Just as technical knowledge created I, this has also created I. Now the job of this I is to maintain this pollution. It is not that I have fear or I have no fear. I is fear. It is not that I have psychological problem or not problem. I is the problem. And therefore, what I is doing to combat fear, to control fear, it is the fear which is doing under the banner of I. And therefore, it is giving continuity to fear, it is complicating the fear. If I have an inhibition or a psychological problem, when I try to do it, whatever I try to do by going this person, that person, listening to this and that, going to psychologist, is all useless. Because who is doing that? The psychological problem is doing that. And therefore it is complicating the problem and continuing the problem. So it is a protective mechanism of these pollutions. And we don't understand that. But we are so heavily conditioned, and so much is the cultural input, we cannot see that. Because we have been told, I am a soul. This false fragmentation, this protective mechanism of the mental pollution is telling that I am a soul. A stinking shit is telling that I am a soul. There is no way this shoddy little I can know what is soul. Soul means connection of life in the body. And that is divinity. There is no way this can meet this. This must totally drop for this to be available. And when this is understood, that any action on the part of the I is a useless action. It is only giving continuity to the separative psyche, all the mental problems. Then this I starts dissolving. automatically the energy of understanding. And the I dissolves, the fear also dissolves, the problems also dissolves. And in that emptiness is the wholeness, the holiness, the divinity, the unnameable, the immeasurable. That is the real dimension of life. Life is divinity. And that is available in all these bodies. Please wake up to this and not remain engaged in the wicked activity of the mind in the name of religion, in the name of God, and blah, blah, blah. This is the real dimension of Godhood, the division-free awareness. Total emptiness of this ego center and its activity, which may be all right for doing some practical task, but not to realize the dimension of the otherness. This is the deepest dimension of religion. This freedom, absolute and unconditional. And in that freedom, everything happens so smoothly. Then living is a benediction, not conflicts and contradiction with guilt, gullibility, and all kinds of pressures of the stupid belief systems creating bigotry and battle. This I has to be dropped except in technical world. And that is the message of cross. The vertical line represents I. The horizontal line represents the cancellation of I. What a beauty, this cross. Now this teaching is very extraordinary, although enlightening, but it is very difficult to adjust with it, because our brain has been atrophied, damaged with all kinds of mental formation and formulation. So therefore we say that if you don't understand this teaching, don't even try to understand. Why? Who will try to understand? It is the stupidity which will try to understand. And under the pretext of understanding, it will give continuity to the mental undertaking and stupidity. So we said, don't try to understand, but do some practice. And this practice we learn tomorrow. There are very profound practices which reduces the atrophy in the brain, which brings equanimity in respiration, which is also equanimity of mind, because mind and respiration are connected. That is why when you are agitated, we breathe very fast, and when we are calm and quiet, we hardly breathe. Then there are certain other practices which reduces the fear pollution in the body. And then another practice which reduces the pleasure pollution. That is why this is a psychological fitness program as against the physical fitness program which are available in yoga studios. That is complementary to this. Those who have to do that physical fitness program, they are welcome to do. But this is psychological fitness program, setting you, leading you to the energy of understanding of these profound teachings which just now happened, which is the essence of the Sankhya philosophy of the ancient sages of humanity. Most profound philosophy that we have shared. It is not easy. And when we come to participate in this process, it is called initiation. Initiation is not information, it is transformation. It is very holy. And we will have an altar and all so many things you will see. And we don't come empty-handed. we have some participation symbols which are very profound, which have been indicated in that paper which says initiation preparation paper. And so we will come with those symbols. And those symbols are again distributed amongst you as prasad. Prasad means divine food. We will be sharing with also the old Kriyamans, those who have been initiated. They need not bring, but the new Kriyamans, they bring. And not only these symbols, but they also give in a closed envelope some dakshina, the donation. You see, because this is priceless, it cannot have a price tag. We don't ask any price money for this. It is based on voluntary donation. There are 3 words in Sanskrit: shiksha, diksha, bhiksha. For technical education, it has a price. You have to pay to college, university, everywhere. But diksha is not accumulation of knowledge, freedom from knowledge. And a person operating in this dimension has to live in bhiksha, the donation. That is why Buddha, although he was a son of a king, he used to call himself bhikshu, the beggar, because he was operating in the dimension of freedom from knowledge. So that people give, and of course they give very good. So, thank you for listening with so much dedication and silence.